I say let's go big questions and then we'll do uh news and injuries right after it because we got quite a bit that's happened within the last 48 hours, to be quite honest with you. I mean, we talked about week three. We have an instant reaction of week four's Thursday night game. But guys, I kind of wanted to play a game of keep trade cut. This is not a variation of Kiss Mary Kill, but I just want to get a vibe check on all these players because we're 3 weeks in. Either you're holding on to hope or biases are being very confirmed and it could be very painful there. But I have about 12 to 15 players that I want to get y'all's opinion on. So we're gonna start with quarterbacks. What's the vibe check? Would you keep, trade, or cut Trevor Lawrence right now?
Yeah, and it's not that they have to fit into like each can only be one answer, just in general.
In general, because we got some questions that need to be answered.
I
Yeah,
mean, according to last year was kind of his breakout year after his rookie disaster of a year. But I'd say hold on to him. I mean, he's had a rough start. I mean, nobody's really panicking with Joe Burrow. I mean,
yeah,
I think Trevor Lawrence is safe. I think you sit him on the bench until he actually produces, but I think you keep him. You got to keep him.
yeah.
Uh,
You got to keep Hill.
yeah, I think you gotta keep him as well. A lot of the issues just seem so self-inflicted that it's like, okay, once these get fixed, everything will be fine. It's just if you thought he was going to be like Jalen Hurts of last year and like that's your late round QB steal,
Sorry.
you're very disappointed.
Yeah.
But I think you do have to hold on to him. Um, the next one though might we might have some differing opinions. Keep trade or cut Justin Fields.
I mean, I feel
For,
like
yeah,
he's
go ahead.
almost like a keep for me, just because if you try and trade him, the value is going to be so
Yeah,
bad.
he's not a trade for me. It's really of like, do
Like
you
if you're
want
trying
to?
to get him, oh, trade
Yeah,
because you'll get a deal for him. But if you have him, he's another one like T-Law that I can see it being a keep, just because you're not getting his value.
yeah, I go trade for him just because you know what the ceiling is. The ceiling is league winning weeks. It's
Yeah.
just my big concern with Fields right now is Chase Daniel did a really good video about it, and it was basically saying how you're not really seeing a lot of the things that helped Justin Fields be really good last year, and it's almost like they're trying to fit him into a box. So it's part scheme and part just not helping Justin. It's actually no, it's 100% scheme. It's not. It's just not playing to Justin Fields' strength yet.
Yeah, I agree with that, Josh. They're trying to kind of fit him into that box. Um, I think there's pieces missing from that Bears offense that are crucial to his success, and that scheme just doesn't really fit him. So it's it's hard to see him succeed. I mean, you've seen him last. I mean, the last year was great for him just because he was practically the running back. I mean, he was the leading rusher there.
Yeah,
So that was why he was such a fantasy success. And that shows how dangerous he is. But as a quarterback, and they're now trying to focus more on the passing ability that he has. It's hard. They're trying to fit him into that box, and he's not going. So I'm a little worried about him. He's my starting
yeah.
quarterback in one of my leagues, and I'm panicking right now
Look,
because I have nobody to
I mean,
replace him with.
I'll be honest. I was real. I've been really thinking about trading for Fields on the low right now, especially with Trevor Lawrence, just because the ceiling I know is much higher.
Yeah,
But it's like, do I have enough time to use a valuable roster spot just in the hope that a breakout happens again?
Yeah, guess we'll
yeah.
find out.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. So, uh, I mean, we can go with this player. We had, dang, I thought we had
We
another
all know
one.
what we're doing to Baker Mayfield. We're
Yeah,
cutting him.
Yeah, we're cutting.
I will say though, he has been getting the at least the touchdowns. This last week was probably his worst game, but
I mean,
it's not has been as bad as people thought it was going to be.
yeah.
The real player I wanted to put in here was Kenny Pickett. Is Kenny Pickett just a clear just
Oh, I'm
cut
cutting
right now?
Pickett too. Yeah.
Yeah, I at this point I'm cutting him. I'm not seeing a whole lot of the flash of talent anymore. It's he's getting lucky on a lot of stuff, and it's not
Well,
working
he's
out for
with
him.
Matt Cameron. So that's a
Yeah, that's I mean his the play calling there in Pittsburgh has been awful. So it got a little better last week, but even then it wasn't great.
Yeah,
So
I, I
that may
agree.
be partially to blame, but it's just I'm not seeing a high level, well, at least worth a fantasy start. So
No, I totally get that from you. I think it makes sense. Let's hit over to running backs, because we got some questions here. Brees Hall, are you keeping, are you trading, or are you cutting?
raid.
he
Trade.
Raid.
trade away or trade for
I'm
Trade.
gonna
Oh,
say I'm trading away.
trade away, even
Yes.
because he was like a number one pick last year.
So
So are
here,
you're not holding on to him?
here's
nope.
why. Because what I will give credit to Mike LaFleur, as much as I don't think he helped develop Zach Wilson at all, the run game was there. And it's largely with the same group of guys. And I think Nathaniel Hackett is more towards the Aaron Rodgers kind of quarterback. So I think that not only hurts Brees, but on top of that, the O line is also a year older. Like Dwayne Brown, I think has just not looked good at all, personally, in my opinion. And I think from someone that's trying to come back from ACL to basically having much tighter boxes on him, I don't even think Zach Wilson or Trevor Simeon like moves the needle for me. I'm personally trading away and trying to get anything I can out of them because it's this or cut.
Mm. See, I still know he's got that talent. I think he's still coming off of that injury last year, and I don't know. It may be because I have him in my league. I'm a little more hopeful, but you know that's just me.
Yeah, what you got?
On Brees.
Yes,
Yeah, I said I was going to trade him.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Um,
I believe in him. I don't trust anyone in New York's running back room.
nah, I
I
think
think it's
that's
important to
fair.
them. I think all of
Oh
the
yeah,
running
right
backs.
now there's no trust with him, but I'm holding on to him in the hopes that something happens to Dalvin Cook or Dalvin Cook doesn't come back next year, and
Yeah,
it's Brees Hall's backfield. So
yeah.
because
Next year for
Aaron
sure.
Aaron Rodgers comes back, it could be dangerous with Brees back there with him. So
Maybe.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
could be, not
But all
guaranteed.
he's done is carry an American flag. So
oh man,
That's true.
it's still painful. It's only 3 weeks ago. Let's go with our next running back here, and Alvin Kamara.
I'm keeping him for
I'm
just for this,
I'm keeping him too.
only for this season.
Oh,
Yeah, only for this
absolutely.
season. And uh, see, I'd like to see a couple of games with him being, used, and then I'd trade him away while he's high.
While he's still
So
valuable, yeah.
I,
I will
yeah,
honestly,
say
while he's still valuable, get some
60 points.
draft picks or a young developmental player and trade him away.
I you know I'm gonna make the argument of keeping him on your roster, and the biggest reason why is the running back injuries, like Saquon going down. There's JT, JK went down, and then Austin Eckler's been out since week 2. And I mean, we've talked about this already, but like the trying to find a running back in waivers, good luck.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
at this point, is if you made the investment that you were going to hold on to him for 3 weeks, I think even a 50% Alvin Kamara is better than no Kamara. So I do understand the trade away because you will get someone who probably is biting for the running back value, but I think you
Or
can make
maybe,
just as big of an argument as to keep him.
yeah. And it's all about how you want to play your game because, in Dynasty, you can either, go for that ship if your team looks good and you feel like they could take you there, cool. But if you've got an aging running back that might not be there next year, if he doesn't really perform this year, I mean, they drafted a pretty good replacement running back last
Yep.
year. So he might not be there next year or the year after. So
Very
if
possible.
you can get something from it, trade him away and make your roster a little bit younger.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a win now move, for sure with Alvin Kamara. So I kind of want to put these next two players together: DeAndre Swift and Jahmyr Gibbs. Keeping, trading, or cutting.
I'm keeping both
I
Yeah,
am keeping both
keep him
as well.
both.
because you can see
Swift
the
looks
talent
really
both.
good.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I think they're both for different reasons though. But Jahmyr Gibbs is he's Travis Etienne. That's the situation. It's like they're giving all these carries to James Robinson, saying they're trying to get him ready. It's bull crap. Everyone can see the talent. Everyone can see what he can do. Everyone knows that he's special and that yeah, Monty isn't bad. He's an effort player, but Monty is not Jahmyr Gibbs, and it's not the other way around.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
would you say that if you're giving a reason to hold on to Gibbs is the fact of one, no touchdowns yet for Gibbs, so we haven't had that experience. But two, it's each week it's only going to get better.
I think so. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I want to say right now that's early in the season he's going to keep getting better because he's kind of in this level flex range of like 10 to 12 points. Um, so I think towards the end of the season is when you might see him a little bit more. If not, it'll be next year for sure.
It just sucks without the touchdowns. That's really the issue right now.
But he is getting the pass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that is something to be hopeful
See,
about.
okay, but my worry right now is that they gave Monty a 3-year pretty solid contract. So they intend to use him. And that was after they decided to take the running back or take Gibbs in the first round. I'm I'm concerned that Gibbs is not going to be used in an RB1 capacity on that offense.
I will say,
I think he definitely will. But go ahead, Josh.
I mean, so if we're looking at it right now, it was technically a 4-year deal, but the last year of the deal is a void year.
Yeah.
So it's and the third year of his deal, there's no guaranteed salary with it too. So it's all within these next 2 years. As far as his contract is concerned, my bigger issue right now is that if the game gets out of hand and like Detroit's like just winning a lot, they will just not use Gibbs. So you actually kind of need a close game. And this doesn't help that you're replacing Josh Reynolds with Jameson Williams very quickly because we all thought it'd be 6 games. Now it just got
he got it reduced to 4, so he's back.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my only fear, but I mean, let me look up Detroit's schedule.
Bench Josh Reynolds for next week and see what it looks like for him.
Yeah, that's my only concern with Gibbs is, they gave Monty a pretty fat contract, and I mean they're going to want to use it.
Valuation contract though, like they're seeing what Monty can do for them, but they're also seeing, all right, we used a first round pick on Gibbs.
Yeah,
what can he do?
Yeah, but it might be an Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard type deal where, Tony Pollard sat behind Zeke for a couple of years, and then when Zeke aged out, they just allowed Tony Pollard, hey, this is your backfield now. So
and
they might use them in that 1-2 punch role.
They weren't really using Tony Pollard till last year.
Yeah,
You know,
until
Yeah.
until
Adam
it became
Yeah.
necessary.
Yeah,
But that's
exactly.
the
Until it
fear,
became
though.
necessary.
Like Ethan, for example, he took Gibbs with the 102, thinking it's going to be an immediate contribution, and right now you're
Well,
just
I didn't
capped.
think it was going to be an immediate contribution. I thought he was going to be scaled, but Monty was going to be injured, which was going to increase that scale at which he was used. And I was kind of right. But then Ben Johnson, while Monty was away, was like, yeah, no, I actually genuinely hate America and football itself. So we'll see what happens going forward. But
Yeah, so let me
Okay,
just
let's go ahead with. Oh, go ahead.
well, I mean, last thing on Swift, he's just electric. You can see that he's talented. It's
yes,
everything
Yeah.
in Detroit.
yeah. Swift is 100% keep. What you thought Miles Sanders was going to be last year is actually Swift. That would be my one note. But as far as Gibbs, here are his next few games before their bye week in week 9: Carolina, Tampa, Baltimore, Vegas. There are a few games there where it's going to be, yeah. I mean, Baltimore, I would even say Tampa are going to be close games. So hopefully,
They get it rolling,
exactly. All right.
especially since Arthur Smith hates Algier in the red zone as well, as much as Dan Campbell hates Gibbs in the red zone, which makes no sense.
Makes no sense at all. So let's
Yeah.
get. All right. I'm going to just bring all of these in order here because I think there's a good conversation for all three receivers here. George Pickens, keep, trade, or cut.
Keep.
Yeah, I'm keeping Pickens.
I might be in the trade category. Talk me out of trading him.
Don't do it.
That's not helping.
Don't do it.
But what would be like the one thing like for someone who
Wide
like
receiver,
I
you know, like he's wide receiver 1 in Pittsburgh. He has the connection with Pickett. They just need to get it figured out offensively.
Yeah.
I think that starts with
I
Matt.
think. Yeah, if the play calling gets better in Pittsburgh, I think you're going to see that Pickens Pickett connection, and I think they'll light it up. But it all boils down to that play calling.
Ryan,
So,
that is a big if as far as the play calling.
big if.
All right,
Big
keep, trade, or cut Jahan Dotson.
trade.
Cut.
I'm trading for those middle round picks. Somebody else who wants to try and take him.
That's
As a
honestly, as far as in Dynasty League getting the value, totally see it.
But I mean, if you need
Yeah.
the roster spot, I understand cutting.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Keep, trade, or cut Mike Evans. Is this going to be a season long thing, or will y'all capitalize?
Trade.
I am
Trade.
trade as well.
Capitalize on his big games and just get him off your roster. Get somebody young, and or a lot of draft picks.
Yep, I'm right there with you on the trade there. And then I only have 2 tight ends. Actually, I know Ethan and I have already said capitalize, or Donald Parham was one, but I don't even think that's even worth a mention. The one tight end I do want to talk about is Dallas Goddard.
He's a key
trade. He's a keep.
Keep.
Because
Keep
they are
100%.
manufacturing for him. And so
Yeah.
eventually that manufacturing, if they say, hey, this guy's important to us, and they're actively manufacturing, he's like Pittman. I think a lot of people were worried about Pittman, and then you saw how much they're manufacturing for him, and it's like, we can't really trade this guy because
he's getting
making-
enough to where, like, if you went boom or bust with Kyle Pitts, like that's where, I think you would love to have Dallas Goddard, where there's just like I'm guaranteed 7 to 8 points.
Yeah, I think Pitts is going to get better, but maybe not by much.
It's tough out here.
I don't know. Pitts has burned me so much.
If they put Pitts at outside receiver, they'd be chilling.
Possibly. I've just been burned by him so much. I don't want to talk about it.